My name is Kristen Padamonte, and I am a Kutztown University alum from just a few short years ago. And I had a fabulous experience when I was here in speech and theater, and I'm really happy to be back here for Love Your Body Day a second time. So we're going to go on a journey together about our bodies, and really reframing and thinking about all the incredible things that our bodies can do rather than simply focusing on the external. And I decided to call the presentation, I Know Victoria's Secret, and after the presentation you will too. You probably have a suspicion of what it's going to be about just based on the title. So the first part of our journey, I wanted to show you some images that you're probably familiar with, and wanted to talk just a little bit about airbrushing, and of course Victoria's Secret. Advertising has created completely, literally, impossible standards for us to reach. And it happens in all sorts of ads where you might not even think about the fact that they would airbrush for these particular products. Tide detergent airbrushes, Kmart airbrushes, and then of course you've got, the ones where you might expect a little bit more like really high-end fashion, fragrances, that kind of thing. But this one shows you what they have done to someone who was just about normal to begin with, and we can look at that and say, well, I might look like that, I kind of look like that. And then they chip away about a third of her body to something that is just about impossible to achieve in real life. Literally impossible. The pictures that we see in magazines are literally impossible for us to achieve because we don't have someone following us around with Photoshop in real life and saying, oh my gosh, you look pretty good in that top, but please let me airbrush those wrinkles out for you. And your waist, why don't we just cut away 2 inches on either side of your waist? And how about a breast augmentation right here, right now? It'll just take about 5 minutes and we'll do a breast augmentation on you. And then we're gonna lengthen your hips and oh, by the way, your chin. Let's chisel your chin a little bit. We're gonna fill out your cheeks just a little bit more. And your hair color is really nice, but wouldn't it look so much nicer if it was just a little bit more blonde? We'll just do that right now. So this photo on the left, I think she looks fabulous. And the photo on the right is after 20 hours of Photoshop. 20 hours of Photoshop, and it's literally impossible. And I chose this one because I thought it was really interesting seeing the face, just the face up close, and what's done to someone's face. She's already a beautiful, beautiful person, and then they have chiseled half of her cheek away. They've taken any freckle, any blemish, completely erased it, made her arch and her eyebrow a little bit higher. They changed the color of her eye. And she ends up looking quite different. We are not followed around by someone with an airbrush. So no matter how much makeup we put on, or how we try to dress to camouflage or whatever, we aren't going to look like these pictures because they're not real. They're absolutely not real images. Now, for the guys in the room, guys are airbrushed too. But the pressure that he faces, that he's supposed to somehow look like that. I think what the ad was trying to say is if you wear Calvin Klein underwear, boom, that's what you're going to look like. That one's not actually photoshopped. It's every bit as awful. Because that guy's fine the way he is. Nothing wrong with him. What ends up happening is, instead of detracting from the guy and erasing, what they do to many of the male models is they enhance them. So, if you're not Arnold Schwarzenegger to start out, they give you these gigantic chesticles and like muscles upon muscles and a giant, I don't know what they put in here, I'm not gonna ask. And there's a lot of pressure on men, so I'm glad to see some men in the audience today. This is not just about women. It happens all over celebrity world, but Madonna in particular. Madonna is one of my sheroes. I have loved her since I was, 10, and rocking out to, get into the group. Sorry, little memory lane there. But she's amazing because she's always reinventing herself. She takes really good care of her body in a healthy way. She does Pilates, she does yoga, she eats really healthy. But she faces airbrushing too, and I don't know how well you can see the little tiny container next to her. It's supposed to be a facial cream. The word on the container is Photoshop. That's right, my friends, you can now get Photoshop in a little canister at your local drugstore, and it's only $129.95. I'm kidding, it's not really, but it might as well be. All those beauty products that they are constantly pushing, especially on women, to, get rid of the flaws, and oh, you have crow's feet and these wrinkles, and this cream will get rid of it for you. The other thing that other people face is using creams to lighten skin. I travel a lot internationally. I can't tell you how many countries I've been in where there are billboards for skin lightening creams. Because to be dark, even in Kenya and Ghana, was considered not as great as if you had lighter skin. That's horrendous, and it makes people feel less than. It makes people feel less than. To be who we really are is a wonderful thing, and to embrace who we really are and be embraced by others for who we really are, and much more than skin deep. It's not just about this external appearance. So, to the honesty that's not there, it's really dishonest. And here's Victoria's Secret. Are you ready? Well, Victoria's Secret is she's not perfect either. She is airbrushed into what you see in the magazines, and it's not reality. By a long shot, it's not reality. A tiny little part of her back that's not perfectly smooth, and they've changed it. So these images that we're constantly bombarded with are absolutely 100% literally impossible. And the thing that I found interesting was it wasn't just in ads that were for fashion. It was for things like Tide detergent. Those women were airbrushed, and men are too. So almost everything you're seeing in an ad is absolutely impossible for you to achieve in real life. So don't buy into Victoria's Secret, because it's not true. So what I wanted to do today is really focus on embracing our bodies for everything they are, the miracle that they truly are. The fact that our hearts are beating right now, the fact that your immune system is keeping you relatively healthy, the fact that you're sitting here in this room, you can see me right now, most of you, you can probably hear me, and you came over here on your own volition, whether that was walking or scootering, or maybe you drove a car, but my gosh, you could drive a car, isn't that a miracle? It is a miracle. Everything that our bodies are doing, all without us even thinking about it, we're not cognizant of it happening. All these functions are going on inside us all at the same time. If we actually saw someone's soul and never saw the person, how many encounters might we have that we may have stopped ourselves from having if we could see the soul of the person instead of just the external? So